Craft a vision no one can ignore. Listen, silence the world for just a moment. Can you hear that? It's the voice that speaks when the crowd stops roaring. It's the whisper beneath the noise of your doubts, telling you that you were born to build something unforgettable. Most people will never hear it. They'll never feel it. They're too busy sleepwalking through someone else's dream, too distracted by the shallow glow of convenience to see the fire within. But you're not like most people. You know there's more. You feel there's more, and you're done pretending you can settle for less. I want you to imagine your future right now, not some polite little goal that fits in a box labeled acceptable, but a vision so clear, so commanding, so magnetic that the world has no choice but to stop and pay attention. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. The world doesn't respect wishes. It doesn't kneel for half decisions. It bows to those who forge their vision in the fires of obsession, discipline, and relentless belief. You want to be remembered? You want to move people? You want to change the game? Then you have to craft a vision no one can ignore. A vision is not a daydream. It is a vow, a covenant you make with your own soul, that you will never back down, no matter who doubts you, no matter how hard it gets. Do you think Edison asked for permission to light the world? Do you think Ford waited for approval to reshape how we travel? Do you think Carnegie worried whether people would mock his ambition? No, they saw something no one else could see, and then they refused to unsee it. That's what you must do. See it. Feel it. Hold it so close to your chest that not even failure can pry it away. Because vision is the source of every empire, every revolution, every invention that made the impossible inevitable. Vision is the seed from which giants grow. But listen carefully. A vision that is easy to sell to the average person is worthless. The average person doesn't want you to dream big. Your boldness offends their complacency. Your clarity threatens their confusion. They'll try to talk you out of it. Be realistic, they'll say. Play it safe, they'll warn. Because your vision forces them to confront their own lack of one. And so you have to decide right now, will you shrink to make them comfortable? Or will you expand until they have no choice but to adjust to your reality? The choice is yours. But know this, history does not remember the comfortable. It remembers the committed, and commitment isn't born from comfort. It's born from clarity. Clarity about what you want. Clarity about who you are. Clarity about what you will sacrifice. When you know what you want with unflinching precision, you become unstoppable. Because clarity turns doubt into fuel. It turns fear into focus. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. This is why so many fail. They're vague. They're wishy-washy. They kind of want success. They sort of want greatness. And the universe pays them in the exact currency they ask for. Ambiguity. You want to be paid in certainty. Then you have to pay with clarity. Sit with yourself. Ask the questions most people run from. What do you want so badly you'd bleed for it? What truth would you die defending? What dream would you rather fail at spectacularly than succeed at half-heartedly? Because until you know those answers, you will remain lost in the fog of other people's expectations. You will be easy to distract, easy to discourage, easy to discourage. But once you know, truly know, you become dangerous. You become inevitable. Think about it. When Lincoln held his vision of a united America, he was surrounded by doubt, hatred, and division. But he didn't flinch. He saw it so vividly that even death couldn't erase it. When Disney went bankrupt, was mocked, and lost everything, he still saw the castle. He still heard the laughter of children in a park that didn't yet exist. He refused to trade his vision for their ridicule. That is the level of commitment your vision demands. Unbreakable, uncompromising, unapologetic. But let me warn you, vision is expensive. It will cost you your excuses. It will cost you your distractions. It will cost you your need to be liked, to fit in, to be understood by people with smaller dreams. That's the price. And if you're not willing to pay it, Be honest with yourself right now. Say it out loud. I want an ordinary life. Say it and mean it, because anything less than everything is nothing when you're building the extraordinary. Don't lie to yourself about wanting greatness if you're not willing to endure loneliness, doubt, failure, criticism, pain, and sacrifice. These are the raw materials of vision. These are the dues you pay to make the world take you seriously. No one is coming to hand you a blueprint. No one is coming to crown you chosen. If you want the throne, you build it with your bare hands. You want people to remember your name, then carve it into the stone of history with the blade of your choices. Your vision isn't something you talk about once and forget. It's something you prove daily, with your actions, your discipline, your persistence. And discipline is the companion of vision. It's the backbone, because vision without discipline is hallucination. So don't just see it, build it. Lay the bricks even when no one is watching. Hammer the nails, even when your hands bleed. Show up when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's thankless. That is how you craft a vision no one can ignore, because the world notices consistency. It respects sacrifice. It can't help but bow before someone who refuses to bow before it. You want to be unstoppable? Then stop negotiating with your weaknesses. Stop explaining your limitations. Stop asking for permission to be great. You were not born to be average. You were born to be a force. But forces don't apologize. They don't hesitate. They don't wait for consensus. Look at every empire ever built. Every innovation that changed the world. They began as ideas so audacious. They sounded insane, but they belonged to someone who refused to water them down, who nurtured them like a parent, with a fragile newborn, shielding them from the cynics and the quitters. This is your job, to hold your vision sacred, to guard it with everything you have, to feed it daily with belief, discipline, and action. Because here is the truth. If you don't honor your vision, no one else will. No one will fight for your dream the way you will. No one will lose sleep over your calling the way you must. No one will sacrifice for your purpose the way you're required to. So stop expecting them to. Stop needing them to. This is the burden of the visionary, to stand alone if necessary, to believe alone if you must, to carry the flame through the darkest nights with no guarantee of dawn. Because vision isn't democratic. It's not a committee decision. It's a commandment, whispered to you and you alone. And if you choose to ignore it, you will betray yourself in ways no one else can. You will live with the quiet, gnawing ache of knowing you could have been more, that you should have been more. Don't let that be your story. You want to know why so few live extraordinary lives. Because so few are willing to make extraordinary commitments. They want the crown without the crucible. They want praise without pressure. They want glory without grind. But the universe doesn't work that way. It tests you. It asks, how badly do you want this? And then it demands payment in blood, sweat, tears, and years. That is the toll. That is the gatekeeper that separates those who dream from those who do. So ask yourself now, will you pay? Will you persist when the applause fades? Will you remain faithful to your vision when all evidence says you're a fool? When they call you delusional, when they laugh behind your back, when they pity you for daring to want more. Because make no mistake, they will. Not because you're wrong, but because you threaten everything they've accepted about their own limitations. Your vision is a mirror they don't want to look into. It reflects their surrender. It exposes their compromise. That's why they'll tell you to give up. Not because they know what's best for you, but because they want company in their mediocrity. Don't give it to them. Don't join them. Don't dim your light to soothe their insecurities. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to illuminate, to lead, to define what's possible. But that requires sacrifice. It requires solitude. The visionary's path is often lonely. At first, because you're walking through territory no one has charted. You're describing colors no one else can see yet. That's why you must trust yourself, relentlessly, even when it feels like insanity. Because you are building a world that does not yet exist. And all great builders have to hold the plan in their mind long before there's any proof. Think of the Wright brothers. While everyone scoffed at the idea of human flight, they spent years crashing into the sand. Everyone saw failure. They saw data. Everyone saw a waste of time. They saw progress. Everyone saw fools. They saw pioneers. This is what separates the visionary from the spectator. The visionary isn't deterred by ridicule. They are fueled by it. Because nothing lights a fire like someone saying it can't be done. So let them doubt you. Let them mock you. Let them walk away. Good. They're not meant to come with you. Your vision will demand you travel light. No room for the cynical. No room for the jealous. No room for the half-hearted. Because your vision will already be heavy enough. You will carry the weight of your ambition, the responsibility of your dreams, the relentless need to grow, evolve and adapt. That's the price of admission. And the only question is, will you pay it? Because the alternative is cheap, but it's devastating. It's the slow death of potential. It's the quiet agony of regret. It's lying on your deathbed knowing you let your vision rot in the soil of your excuses. Is that acceptable to you? If it is, then stop listening now. Go back to comfort. Go back to normal. There's nothing here for you. But if you're still here, if you're still listening, then there's something in you that refuses to be ordinary. Something in you that is done pretending to be small. That's what I'm talking to right now. The real you. Not the polite you. Not the social you. Not the agreeable you. The ferocious, unapologetic, hungry you. The one who remembers why you're here. The one who knows you didn't come to this earth to decorate it, but to transform it. Because that's what visionaries do. They take the raw, unformed chaos of possibility and they shape it. They mold it with their will. They carve it with their actions. They sculpt it with their sacrifices. But let's be clear, vision alone is not enough. Because vision without action is hallucination. You can see it as vividly as you want. You can dream it every night. But until you move, it's nothing but fantasy. That's the next challenge. To take your vision and incarnate it. To drag it from the clouds into the dirt. To wrestle it into reality. One decision at a time. That means doing the work no one sees. The early mornings, the late nights, the tedious tasks, the scary conversations, the repeated failures. It means showing up even when motivation deserts you, even when results mock you, even when the world seems determined to prove you wrong. Because the world doesn't hand over respect for free. It has to be earned, and the currency is action. Consistent, deliberate, unrelenting. So let them call you obsessed. Wear it like armor. Let them say you're too intense. Let them say you're too much. They don't know what it takes to be unforgettable. Because you're not here to be acceptable. You're here to be undeniable. Unforgettable doesn't happen by accident. It is forged. Forged in the heat of repeated attempts. Forged in the failure that teaches. Forged in the courage to try again. When no one is watching. When no one is cheering. When even you aren't sure anymore. Because that is the secret. Most people quit just before the miracle. They give up because it didn't happen fast enough, easy enough, or loud enough. They want the world to validate them before they've even finished the foundation. But you know better. You know the world doesn't move for half-finished dreams. It doesn't applaud the uncommitted. It doesn't respect dabblers. It kneels for the relentless. It pays tribute to the stubbornly faithful. It cannot ignore the one who simply will not go away. That's the task before you. To make your vision so real in your own mind that it infects reality itself. That it begins to bend the world around it, pulling resources, people, and opportunities toward you like a gravitational force. That is not magic. It is not luck. It is the inevitable result of refusing to yield. Look around at anything that seems permanent. Skyscrapers that kiss the clouds, bridges that defy canyons, technologies that connect the globe. None of it was obvious. None of it was guaranteed. None of it existed until someone dared to see it, to speak it, to build it. They faced the same doubts you do. They bled the same red blood. They felt the same fear in the pit of their stomach. But they acted anyway. That's the only difference. That's what levels the playing field. Not where you were born, not who you know, not what you have, but what you're willing to become. Because vision changes you first. It demands you evolve. It demands you shed the parts of yourself that can't carry the weight of your dream, your laziness, your ego, your excuses, your need for external validation. It demands you become the kind of person who can hold the reality you're trying to create. You want to lead, then learn to follow discipline. You want freedom, then master responsibility. You want respect, then embody consistency. You want abundance, then destroy your scarcity mindset. This is the true work, not just seeing the vision, but matching it. Aligning yourself so thoroughly with it that you can no longer recognize the person who doubted. Because here's what no one tells you about big dreams. They're heavy. They'll break the unprepared. They'll shatter the fragile. They'll destroy the parts of you that wanted comfort over calling. But they'll also forge something unbreakable. They'll sculpt a version of you that you didn't even know was possible. One who can stand in any room, one who can weather any storm, one who cannot be ignored. That is the real reward. Not just what you build, but who you become building it. So stop obsessing over how long it will take. Stop calculating the shortest route. Stop bargaining with the price. It costs what it costs. Pay it gladly, because the time will pass anyway. The years will go whether you build or not. And one day you will be left with the only question that matters. Did I do what I came here to do? Did I give everything? Did I live with the kind of conviction that changes worlds? Did I craft something no one could ignore? Because make no mistake, if you don't choose your vision, you will be recruited into someone else's. If you don't build your dream, you will build for those who dared to. If you don't decide who you are, the world will assign you a role, and it will be smaller than you deserve. So choose now, claim it, decide with finality, because decisions shape destiny, not half decisions, not polite agreements, not vague intentions, decisions. A decision that says I will, no matter what, no matter who doubts, no matter how long it takes, I will. That's the vow you make to yourself, and you keep it, daily, ruthlessly, religiously, because vision is not a one-time act. It's a practice, a discipline, a faith. Faith in something unseen. Faith in the possibility of the impossible. Faith in yourself when no one else sees it. That is the price of greatness. That is the burden of the few who change the world. So ask yourself right now, are you one of them? Or are you just visiting this idea for the thrill of imagining it? Are you willing to suffer for your dream? Are you willing to become unrecognizable to achieve it? Are you willing to fail publicly, repeatedly, and get up every time? Because the vision doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about your timeline. It doesn't care about your excuses. It will either be built or it won't. And the world will go on, unmoved, unchanged, unless you make it different. You want to know the real power of vision? It's not just that it changes your life. It's that it changes others. It inspires. It frees. It gives permission to the silent dreamers watching you. Because people don't believe what you say. They believe what you prove. They watch how you live, how you choose, how you endure. Your vision can become their permission slip. Your success can become their proof. Your discipline can become their blueprint. This is the responsibility of the visionary, not just to enrich yourself, but to expand the boundaries of what humanity believes is possible, to be the proof that it can be done, that it can be survived, that it can be built. That is your duty, to carry the torch through the dark, even when the wind howls and the rain lashes your face, to keep it burning so others can see the path, even if they never thank you, even if they never know your name. Because legacy isn't about applause, it's about impact. It's about knowing that you left the world different than you found it, that you carved something meaningful out of chaos, that you didn't just exist, you created. Creation is the most divine act available to us. When you craft a vision no one can ignore, you are performing alchemy, turning thought into reality, turning dreams into structures, systems, movements, art. And that process demands you respect it. It will not reveal its treasures to the lazy. It will not serve the uncommitted. It will not bow to the impatient. You must show it you're worthy, worthy of the idea, worthy of the responsibility, Worthy of the influence, because influence is not given freely. It is earned by the consistency of your example. It is granted by those who see you living what you preach. It is cemented by your refusal to break when everything around you crumbles. Your vision will be tested. It will be assaulted by reality, by setbacks, by betrayal, by self-doubt that seeps in like a poison, by moments when you question your sanity. Good, let it be tested, because what survives the test is real. It's not fragile, it's not conditional, it's forged, it's unbreakable. That's how you know it's yours. That's how you know you're ready. You want to change your life? Stop treating your vision like a hobby. Stop scheduling it around your convenience. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Commit. Fully. Absolutely. Irrevocably. Say it to yourself right now. I will not abandon my vision. Say it like a promise written in blood, because there will be days when that promise is all you have left, when the money is gone, when the support vanishes, when the plan fails, when even you doubt yourself. And in that moment, you will remember the vow, and you will choose to continue, because you're not here to dabble. You're here to finish. The world rewards finishers. It remembers those who endure. It respects those who keep their word to themselves. So be that person. Be the one who didn't fold. Be the one who didn't flinch. Be the one who saw it through. No matter how long it took, no matter what it costs. That is how you make your vision undeniable. That is how you force the world to take you seriously. Because they can ignore what you say. They can ignore what you post. But they cannot ignore results. They cannot ignore transformation. They cannot ignore the empire you build in plain sight. When you show them what's possible, you steal their excuses. You make them confront their own potential. You disrupt their complacency. You become living proof of a better standard. That's why vision is dangerous. That's why they'll resist you. Not because you're wrong, but because you're right. Because your existence is a challenge, a provocation, a dare. So dare them. Dare them to match your commitment. Dare them to raise their standards. Dare them to dream in full color. But understand, you can't just talk it. You have to live it every day, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when no one is watching. Your vision is a covenant, a sacred contract with the universe, and the universe is listening. It's waiting to see if you're serious, if you'll keep showing up when it's ugly, when it's hard, when it's humiliating, because that's what separates the inspired from the impactful. Plenty of people feel inspired. Few do anything with it. Fewer still endure the process to completion. But those who do, they don't just change their own lives. They change everyone around them. They create opportunity. They spark movements. They shift culture. That is the power you hold right now. But it's potential, dormant, waiting for you to decide. No one can do it for you. No one can make you want it enough. No one can impose the discipline. That's on you. And the moment you take that responsibility, truly take it, is the moment everything changes. Because then you stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop wishing. You become the person worthy of the vision. Become the person who doesn't flinch. Become the person who can be trusted with impact. Because the world needs you. It needs your dream, your perspective, your leadership, your art, your solution. It needs you at your most alive, your most committed, your most powerful, and it will not wait forever. Time moves. Life moves. This chance will pass, and you will either seize it or watch it wither. So make the choice, now, before you're ready, before you know how, before you have permission, because the vision you hold is not yours to waste. It is yours to build, and if you don't, someone else will. Or worse, no one will, and the world will be smaller for it. So build it, craft it, forge it, protect it, commit to it like your life depends on it. Because in a very real way, it does. Because a life without vision is a slow surrender, a quiet erosion of the spirit. It's waking up every day with nothing to aim at, nothing to prove, nothing to become. It's living as a ghost in your own story, drifting from one distraction to the next, filling the silence with noise, chasing approval instead of purpose, existing instead of living. And you know that's not what you want. You wouldn't be here if it was. You wouldn't be listening If some part of you wasn't raging against that part of you is your true self, your unbroken self, your destined self, the part that remembers you were born to do something remarkable, to defy the odds, to leave your mark, to make them say they said it couldn't be done, until they did it. So let them doubt, let them scoff, let them dismiss you. Their certainty in your failure is fuel. It's evidence that you're on the right path, because the path worth walking is always the one they warn you against. They will tell you it's too late, that you're too old, too young, too inexperienced, too idealistic, too ambitious, too much. Good. Be too much. Be so much they can't contain you in their tiny expectations. Be so much they can't forget you, even if they try, because there is no glory in being acceptable. There is no legacy in being unremarkable. There is no immortality in being liked by everyone. History does not remember the obedient. It remembers the unreasonable, the relentless, the ones who refuse to be told who they could be. Think of them. Jobs with his obsession for design that changed the way we communicate. Tesla with his vision for free energy, lighting up the night. King with his dream that mobilized millions. Mandela with his refusal to break even in a prison cell. They were human, flawed, frightened at times, but they held the vision. They protected it. They fed it. They bled for it. And because they did, the world had to change. Your vision may not be as grand, but it is no less necessary, because it is yours. No one else can see it like you do. No one else can build it like you can. No one else can bring it to life, because it was entrusted to you. You are the steward, the architect, the laborer, the protector, the evangelist. That is your role, and it will not always feel noble. Most days it will feel like work, hard, unrewarded, lonely. But that is the price. That is the guarantee that it will matter. Because anything easy to get is easy to forget. Anything handed to you can be taken away. But what you build, what you sweat for, what you sacrifice to create, that becomes part of you. That becomes unstealable. That is your insurance against regret. That is your legacy. And that is what I want for you. Not comfort, not safety, but the truth of your own potential. The raw, unvarnished, unbreakable truth that you can do it if you choose to, because in the end that's all it is, a choice, every day, to keep going, to keep believing, to keep crafting, even when it feels pointless, especially then, because vision lives in the small, silent, private acts of faith, the extra hour no one sees, the rewrite after the 10th rejection, the phone call made despite the fear, the apology issued, because your pride is less important than your purpose. These are the real bricks of greatness, not the speeches, not the photos, not the trophies, but the work. Relentless, humble, unsexy work. Work that aligns you with the person you promised to become. And that alignment is magnetic. People feel it. They trust it. They are drawn to it. Because it's rare. The world is full of talkers. It's starved for doers. It's drowning in hype and desperate for proof. You can be that proof. You can be the evidence that integrity and ambition can coexist, that vision and discipline can collaborate, that dreams and reality can shake hands. But you must start. You must choose, and you must refuse to stop, even when it's boring, even when it's ugly, even when you're tired of your own excuses, because this is your life, your shot, your singular, unrepeatable opportunity to show the world what one person can do when they mean it. So mean it. Mean every word. Mean every action. Mean every sacrifice. Let them call you obsessed. Let them call you unreasonable. Let them call you crazy. They're right. You are crazy. Crazy enough to believe you can matter. Crazy enough to believe you can change things. Crazy enough to bet on yourself. And that is the only kind of crazy that has ever built anything worth remembering. So go, build it, craft it, hammer it out of the formless void of possibility. Shape it with your stubbornness. Polish it with your perseverance. Fortify it with your pain. And when it stands there, undeniable, unignorable, unassailable, when the world can no longer pretend you don't exist, when they're forced to reckon with what you built, smile, because you'll know what it cost, and you'll know it was worth it.